The force of attraction is directly proportional to the product of mass m1 and m2, product of two masses, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Acceleration due to gravity g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, which is said to be a constant value. As the altitude increases, the acceleration due to gravity, which is represented as g dash over here, that decreases. Hello everyone, I am Brinda, Faculty of Physics from Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysuru, welcoming you all to Chapter 8 and Session 2. The chapter name is Gravitation. In today's class, we are going to discuss regarding the Kepler's third law, universal law of gravitation, acceleration due to gravity, as well as the gravitational force above as well as below the earth. So these are the concepts which I am going to teach you today. So in last class, we had come from Kepler's first law as well as second law. There we winded up. So this is our Kepler's third law, which gives the relationship between time as well as the radius. So this Kepler's third law is known as law of periods. So as you all know, the first law is law of orbit, that the law tells you the orbit is a elliptical one, wherein the second law, that is Kepler's second law, is also known as law of areas, where it says that it sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time, as well as this is a third law which is known as law of periods, and here it is something with regard to time as well as radius. So as you all can see, sun is over here at some focus, and this is the orbit of one planet, that is planet Earth. Suppose if there is a other planet after Earth, it is Mars. So I'll consider this as Mars now. This is my planet Mars. So the radius from sun to Earth is different. Let it be R1, and the radius from sun to Mars is R2. So for this it is R1, and this is it is R2. Sun to Earth it is R1, that is for the planet P1. P1 it is R1 is the radius, as well as for planet P2, that is Mars, radius is R2. So there are different radius for the different planets, wherein the planets are orbiting over here. So how will you give the relationship between time period as well as the radius? So what is that relation Kepler has given between time as well as radius? That is like the square of the time period of revolution, the square of time period of revolution of Earth, that is the square of time period of revolution of a planet is proportional. It is proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of the ellipse traced out by the planet. That is nothing but your radius. So it is R. Okay, so it is the square of time period of revolution of a planet is proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis of the ellipse, which is traced out by the planet. So this is all about your Kepler's third law. Suppose if you consider you're having time t1 of some planet, that let us take Earth, it is time t1, which is equal to R1, the ratios you're considering, again the time of the other planet with its radius. So the time is represented as square, as well as the radius it is cube root. This relation is with regard to this formula what we have taken. This is a ratio of two planets when you're comparing. Suppose you have got time of two planets and radius of one planet, then we can easily find out the radius of the other planet, so that we can see its revolutionary part. Okay, so that is all about your Kepler's third law, that is T square proportional to R cube. It says that the square of the time period of a revolution of planet is proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis of ellipse traced out by the planet. So that is all about your Kepler's third law. Having this first law, second law, third law, you got to know what are the planets' orbit, how exactly it moves, that is, what is the area which it sweeps at the same interval of time. Okay, that was your second law. And third law, it gave the relationship between your time as well as the radius. So next we are going to universal law of gravitation, which is very important concept and it is very much easy to understand. See here, behind me there is a sun over here as well as earth. I'm considering only earth because it's easy for you to understand well. So sun as well as earth, both are here. So universal law of gravitation. So here I have taken two objects. Okay, suppose if the mass of this is m1 and mass of this is m2. The mass of the sun is m1 and mass of the earth is m2. How will you define the universal law of gravitation? So from this point to this point, it is the distance. So this is nothing but the distance. I'll give it in terms of r. From this point to this point, it is termed as the distance between two objects, which I'll determine by r. So define universal law of gravitation. So it is every body in universe attracts every other body. So we know that, as you all know, the gravitation means it's the one which attracts, right? So every body in the universe attracts every other body by certain force, and that force is given by the force is, let me give it here, the force is directly proportional to the product of two masses, say m1 and m2. The force of attraction here, it is directly proportional to product of mass m1 and this m2 and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. And it is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. This is all about your universal law of gravitation. What did Newton do? He observed the apple falling and he gave the concept of gravity, right? And he was inspired by that concept and he introduced universal law of gravitation. So what is that universal law of gravitation? What does it tell you? You have got two objects. So that is, one is sun with the mass m1 and earth with mass m2. And it is separated by certain distance, that is, I am writing it as r, or else even you can give the alphabet as d. So r is the distance over here. So there is a force of attraction. So the force of attraction is directly proportional to the product of mass m1 and m2, product of two masses, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So this is our equation, which can be written as F is equal to G into m1 m2 by r square. So this is about the force. So universal law of gravitation equation is F is equal to G into m1 m2 divided by r square. So this is all about your formula for universal law of gravitation, and it is very important. Okay, so I hope you're clear with the universal law of gravitation now. Having the same like mathematical expressions, you can just give out the statement. The force of attraction is proportional to product of two masses and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So here you got your statement as well as a mathematical expression. Having this, let us go forward for acceleration due to gravity. So this acceleration due to gravity, this is a small letter g, that is told as acceleration due to gravity. So acceleration due to gravity is given as 9.8 meter per second square on the surface of the earth, and this is a constant value. You will have to remember this value, and it is very important for each and every numericals to be solved. So it is acceleration due to gravity, g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, which is said to be a constant value. So suppose we have acceleration due to gravity. So what is that acceleration due to gravity? I directly came to the symbolic representation of this as well as its value. So what is that acceleration due to gravity? Suppose an object is allowed to fall from above. So it is getting displaced from top to bottom. It is just falling. Okay. So there is a gravity. We say there is gravity. When it falls, there is change in velocity. So as you have studied earlier, what is that change in velocity? It is acceleration. And when you allow any object to fall from top, what happens? It falls, and there is change in velocity at every time interval. So that change in velocity with respect to time interval is acceleration, and the fall of an object is due to gravity. So that is nothing but acceleration due to gravity. Any object falling from top to bottom is said to be acceleration due to gravity. This is due to acceleration due to gravity, and it is represented by small letter g, which is given as 9.8 meter per second square, and it is said to be a constant value, which is very helpful for you in numericals. Sometimes they themselves will give you the acceleration due to gravity to be approximately 10 meter per second square. If they are not giving, then this is the value which you are supposed to apply. So this is all about your acceleration due to gravity. So there is certain difference between acceleration due to gravity and something of capital letter G. That capital letter G is nothing but gravitational constant. And this you can see in the equation which was represented earlier. Gravitational constant. So what is that value of gravitational constant? It is all about G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. So this is the value of gravitational constant, which was opted from Henry Cavendish in 1798. He performed some experiment called as Cavendish experiment, wherein he kept two objects at the extreme end of some rod and he suspended it, keeping a rigid body above. So he suspended at the extreme end of the rod. There was presence of two objects, wherein by performing this experiment, that is two mass attracts each other. So that was a concept there, and by that he found the gravitational constant, that is G. So G is all about 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. So this is all about your gravitational constant. And remember students, there is lot of difference between gravitational constant as well as acceleration due to gravity. This is just about the fall of some object, that is what this acceleration due to gravity gives, and that is the constant value, wherein it has the concept of attraction of two masses, that is two objects. So it's a mutual attraction between two bodies. That is all about your gravitational constant and acceleration due to gravity. So after this, let us study how the gravity affects the earth, how the gravity or the gravitational forces affecting the earth. So let us study regarding that. So now here we have a concept that is gravitation below and above the surface. We have to study how exactly gravitation works below as well as above the surface. So here we will have to consider a point mass m at the height h. Let the point mass be a mass of an object at height h above the surface of the earth, and the radius of the earth is denoted by RE. Okay, that is radius of earth. So suppose you have got a circle that is earth. So suppose you say this is an earth and this is the center of the earth, which is represented by O, and the radius of the earth is given as R and E, and the height, there is some point mass m, that is the object's mass is m at the height h. So let this be a point mass. So I'll consider this as m and the height is represented as h of g dash. Here we have our g. So what is this g and g dash here? Let the g be acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth, and whose value is always 9.8 meter per second square. That is only on the surface of the earth. Now what are we checking? We are calculating below as well as above the earth what is the gravity. So it is h of g dash. This is at the height. The g dash means it is acceleration due to gravity above certain height. That is above the surface. That is represented by h of g dash. Got it? So now, since this point is outside the earth at the height h of g dash, above the surface of the earth. So it is always above the surface of the earth. So what are we considering? Some object is placed above the surface of the earth. Okay. And on the surface of the earth, the value is 9.8 meter per second square, which is a constant value. Okay. So below the surface of the earth, let us study later. So what is the expression in order to calculate acceleration due to gravity above the surface of the earth? It is nothing but g dash is equal to g into 1 minus 2h by r. This is the value in order to calculate the gravitation above the surface of the earth. Object's gravity above the surface of the earth. So this is one of the important concept. So here, how exactly you can relate with the gravity as well as the altitude? Here we can say that as the altitude increases, your acceleration due to gravity decreases. As the altitude increases, the acceleration due to gravity, which is represented as g dash over here, that decreases. So similarly, here we had studied only the point mass of an object above the surface of the earth. Now coming to the below the surface of the earth. Suppose here it was a point P above the surface of the earth. This is clear. It is cleared and we have given the expression as g dash is equal to g into 1 minus 2h by r. This is all about the expression for an object, acceleration due to gravity for an object above the surface of the earth. Whereas in this case, if suppose the object is at the depth, so what is the value for it? It is all about g dash is equal to g into 1 minus h by r. So this is all about the equation for gravitation below the surface of the gravitation of an object below the earth, that is in the depth. Okay, so that is all about your acceleration due to gravity g dash, which is given by this. So when the depth increases, because the object is going below, so when the depth increases, the gravity decreases. It's the same concept. Altitude increases, gravity decreases. Similarly, depth increases, gravity decreases. That is all about your gravitation of an object below as well as above the surface. So at the surface, G is constant, that is 9.8 meter per second square, whereas below as well as above, what is the concept of acceleration due to gravity? It decreases, it reduces. So what is in the case of equator as well as poles? We have more acceleration due to gravity, and at equator we have got less acceleration due to gravity. So in today's class, we have studied regarding Kepler's third law, universal law of gravitation, acceleration due to gravity, which is symbolically represented as G, and gravitational constant in capital letter G, whose value is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. And acceleration due to gravity value, the constant value is 9.8 meter per second square. So these two are the constant values which you will have to keep in your mind. And after that, we have studied the object, gravitation of the object which is above the earth as well as below the earth, and at the surface of the earth, what exactly is the value of acceleration due to gravity. And we got the conclusion that at the surface of the earth, it is a constant value, that is 9.8 meter per second square. Object above the earth as well as at the depth of the earth, the gravitation decreases. So that is all about today's concept, and few other concepts are there for you to complete with the gravitation, which I'll be taking up in the next 2 sessions, and there you end up with the gravitation chapter, that is chapter 8, gravitation. Until then, have a good day. Thank you.